Hey, how you doing? I'm shooting this video to hopefully answer some questions about two error codes that are common with Nissan Maximas. They are the P1130 error code and the P1165 error code. So when the engine is running, it is pulling air from the manifold collector right here. And so it is creating a vacuum in here, and most of the air is drawn through this path here, through the throttle body, through the back, and into the manifold this way. But there's also a vacuum created here. And because there's a vacuum created here, there's going to be a suction here. This is disconnected, and right here. Now, this suction right here, this point that's connected to the swirl control valve, is actually connected to this air box right here. The 1130 and the 1165 error code are related. The factory service manual says you should troubleshoot the 1165 before you attempt to solve the 1130 error code, but I'm going to explain the 1130 error code first. The 1130 error code is a swirl control valve control solenoid valve, and that is this piece right here. And this piece is purposed to control the swirl control valve. The swirl control valve is located on the right side of your engine, right there on the intake manifold. So under vacuum, what it does is it articulates like this. Articulates. And that articulation motion is controlled by the control solenoid right here. So now, when 5 volts is applied to this guy will close, and this creates a vacuum here. This vacuum line is connected. You can follow the vacuum line to this bar, which is tied to this T-bar, which is tied to that valve. If when the engine is cold, the engine is revved to somewhere around 3,400 RPMs, the ECM will kill the 12 volts to the solenoid control valve. And when it does that, this valve will open up and allow air to pass through here from the air box through the solenoid into here. And what that does is it turns off the vacuum here. When this vacuum is turned off, the swirl control valve itself down here will not actuate. It will close, or it will open. And as it opens, the path of the air going into the air intake increases. The same thing happens anytime the car is warm, regardless of the RPMs. The ECM will kill the 12 volts to the control solenoid. The control solenoid will open the swirl control valve. When the swirl control valve is open, the valves in the lower intake open, which allow more air to pass into the cylinders. And what that does is it increases the power efficiency of the engine. The P1130 error code happens when the car thinks this swirl control valve is not working correctly. And it would think that because it monitors the return voltage on this piece. When it applies 12 volts, it expects to see a certain return at the ECM, and when it doesn't see that, it will throw the error code. The car is also monitoring the functionality of this piece through the check valve. Remember, you have the swirl control valve, which is connected via vacuum through this hose. This hose is connected to the bottom bar, which is connected to the T-junction, and this is connected to the check valve. So the car is also monitoring the check valve. Now, the check valve doesn't have any purpose except for monitoring this guy. You could actually remove the check valve and your car would run fine. It would just throw an error code. There are a couple of other things that will throw the P1130 error code. If you have a bad hose, that'll cause a problem. If you have a clogged hose, that'll cause a problem. If you have a bad manifold where you have no vacuum here, that would cause a problem. That would throw the error code, and that would be very expensive because you're going to have to replace the whole manifold. Or if for some reason your swirl control valve is not actuating, that could be expensive because you have to get to it. It's attached to the lower manifold. So there's a couple of things that would throw the P1130 error code. It's always wise, and even the factory service manual recommends that you start with the easy stuff. Start with the hose, making sure that the electrical signals are getting to the swirl control valve before you go into the more in-depth troubleshooting. So hopefully during this video, I was able to provide you with some good information that was helpful to help you understand your car and better help you understand how to troubleshoot your car. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, like it, subscribe to my channel because there will be more videos to come. All right, thank you. Thanks for watching.